Alright guys, this Wednesday the tutorial is this cute little Boston Terrier. I think that's what he is. And so what I want to do is just run through a quick video showing you how I would reproduce this little guy in my sketchbook, in my Bible journal, in my planner, whatever you like to create in. I kind of wanted to walk you through to show you how I would recreate it in real life and how to follow these guides. Some quick little visual helps are in another video that I'm going to post. It's really just me talking. I'm talking about how to lay your lines out, guidelines, shapes. It's real quick, really helpful. Jump over there and watch that video too if you get a chance. So let's jump right in, and we're going to draw this cute pudgy little dude right here on this paper. Okay, so I'm going to draw my guideline. And like in the video before, I was talking about how that just helps me line everything up and keep things balanced. All right, so I've got my line. So his head is going to be a square. I'm keeping my lines light so I can go back and erase easy later or just cover them up. So I've got the square, so I'm ready for step 2. I'm going to come in here and add my ears off the top 2 corners of my square. They're triangles, and they're going to kind of cut in to the top of his head right there. Alright, they're not perfect, but they're there, and I'll go back and finalize things later. Okay, now I want to do the sides of his body. They kind of curve out and down. So I've gotten through step 2. I've got his head, his ears, and his body. And this dude looks a little bit thicker than my original guy, but it's okay. Alright, and yours may look different too. That's perfectly alright. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we're ready for step 3. We're going to go in and lay in the details of the inside of his ear. I'm going to do his muzzle, which I go about halfway up the center of that square, and then I'm going to bring it down close to those 2 bottom corners of the square, and then I'm going to draw a light line right here underneath the bottom of the square, and it's kind of curve around like that. Alright, so I've got his muzzle laid out, and now I want to do these lines right here. This is some little dark spots on his body. Alright, so we are ready for step 4. We're getting into the details of his face. This is where it gets fun. Alright, so he has a white strip on the top of his head. Draw that in. It kind of curves in as it goes down to his nose. Then his nose is going to hop right down here just a little bit below the top of his muzzle. And then I'll put him some little nostrils in so he can breathe. That's important. And then using my guideline, I'm going to bring this little line down to meet the top of his mouth. His chin is going to come down here and meet this line we drew last step. And then I want his cheeks to kind of puff out on the side. So I'm going to go right below this ear and let it kind of curve out as I get down to the bottom of his head. Yeah, those got a little heavy, but it's fine. Okay, so now we're ready for step 5. So to lay his eyes out, I'm going to use the top of his muzzle. I'm going to draw a real light line across there. Now I know where I want his eyes to sit. They're going to sit right in the middle of each side of his face on that line. And then draw his eyebrows. You can go down here and do his collar, which is going to kind of curve out a little bit past his shoulders and then curve down. He doesn't have much of a neck, so that collar kind of sits snug right up underneath his head. All right, now I got to do the ring that the tag sits on and a circle for the tag. And then it needs a little bitty hole right there where the ring goes through. All right, so I've got the basic layout. Now I can go back, I can shade, and I can finalize some lines. I'm going to round the top of his head just a little bit right there. Now I can go back and put my final lines in for his ears. Shade the inside of those ears a little bit with some quick hatching. These two parts of his face are dark, so I'm going to use some quick light lines, some hatching lines just going across there. Little bit right here behind his nose. His little jaws hang down. And then a little bit of shading right here where his mouth meets. Gonna do some dark spots right here where his dark spots are on his body. Re-outline his tag. I'm going to do a little curved shading around the edge of that collar where it's coming around the sides. So I guess that is close to it. So I'm going to go back and just finalize a couple little things with some black, make them pop a little bit more. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, just little spots of it. All right, well, he's cute. He's a little bit different from my original, and that's okay. I ran through him really fast so I could just show you how to run through these steps with the tutorial and create your own. I hope you enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to see what you create. Tag me on Instagram with Fishtale tutorials, and I would love to see what you do.